2 thumbs down for the Project Hail Mary movie adaptation. Now that's only going to make sense if you've seen the film because it was anything but that. This was a 10 out of 10, jazz hands, as my goat Rocky would say, amaze, amaze, amaze. I'm a huge fan of the book. Like, this book is in the top 3 all time for me, and I absolutely love this movie. I went opening day and saw it on IMAX with my wife. She knew nothing about the book and she loved it. I think we're gonna name our next dog Rocky. This movie just gave me what I wanted, which is a movie about Rocky and Grace, which at its core is a story of friendship. 2 buddies save stars, 2 buddies make going to the movies an awesome experience. And so in this video, I'll talk about some of the differences between the movie and the book. And if you're new here, I'm JB. I love books and movies. And if you do too, please consider hitting that like and subscribe button. Now let's go talk about Project Hail Mary. So let's first open with a big congratulations to the Project Hail Mary team. The film opened to an $80 million box office weekend, and that makes it the 2nd biggest opening ever for a non-franchise film, placing it right behind Oppenheimer. Now it's obvious this film has been a really big hit with audiences and not just fans of the book, and I think you got to give credit to the directors, Lord and Miller, for that. It's obvious they put a lot of love and care into the film. They are the duo behind the Spider-Verse films, the Lego movies, and the 21 Jump Street films. Just 2 of the best directors at taking a story and making it feel funny and emotional at the same time. So one second I was laughing, the next I was crying. Another thing you might have heard about their filmmaking approach is that the production for the film used practical sets, puppets, and no green screens. The whole ship was built from the interior to the exterior. Now this doesn't mean that there was no CGI. They obviously had to add some visual effects there, but this means that Ryan Gosling wasn't just standing there in front of a green screen talking to himself. Instead, he was acting alongside a physical puppet manned by James Ortiz. And to me, this made Ryan Gosling's performance just feel more natural. Like, the friendship between him and Rocky felt real. It was the hugs, the fist bumps, the dance moves inside of the tunnel. Like, it reminded me a lot of what Spielberg did with E.T. I think Lord and Miller did something similar here in making the relationship the core of the film. Both Grace and Rocky have that charm and chemistry to them and the relationship, and I think it made the audience just that more invested in their journeys. Now, one of the biggest gripes about the film from fans of the book is that there wasn't enough science. A big part of the book is Grace and Rocky doing a bunch of science experiments and solving puzzles. In the book, Grace is doing a bunch of things with stopwatches, IR goggles. He's figuring out the relativity in arid. Him and Rocky have to figure out how to breed the Talmiba with the nitrogen. So the book has a lot of problem solving, whereas in the movie, things are either figured out a lot quicker or just skipped over entirely. And I think that just comes down to books and movies being totally different mediums. Like, the Project Hail Mary audiobook is 16 hours long. There's just no way they're fitting every single detail in a 2-hour and 30-minute film. I think to do that, they would have to turn this into a 8-episode miniseries. And to me, I think my favorite part of the book is Rocky and Grace's relationship. Like, I wasn't nerding out over the science. That's not my favorite part of the book. My favorite part is those 2 guys. And although Andy Weir makes everything really accessible, like, I can't imagine all that math and science talk going over well with, like, casual moviegoer. Like, people want to see the goofy Ryan Gosling. That's what's going to sell at the box office, not him doing a bunch of equations on a whiteboard. Not to mention, the majority of the scientific process is happening inside of Grace's brain. Like, the reader hears his thoughts, and I'm not sure how that would translate onto film. Like, I know they did the video vlog recording things. I think it's just hard enough to adapt this book into a movie. Like, stuff is going to get cut, but I think it's good that Andy Weir was heavily involved as a producer, because I still think that they kept all the important parts of the story. Now, there are some key scenes that didn't make the cut. There was no copyright scene, no mention of the coma gene. But I think the biggest omission from the books was all the climate change stuff. There was nothing about the desert solar panels. We didn't get the scene where Antarctica was nuked to give Earth a couple more years of time. And to me, that moment in the book just showed how desperate the situation was to buy Earth more time. Like, I can't imagine how visually striking that would have been to see that on screen. But I think in the end, showing like nuclear destruction is such a shift in tone to what they had. Like, it was really comedic that I think maybe it just didn't fit the vibes that the story had going on. And I read somewhere online that the screenwriter had 8 pages of script planned for that one scene, but he only had they only allowed him for like 3, I think. And so they just decided to remove it altogether. And I think filming something like that, the way that they approached this film would have just been so massive in scale and probably really expensive to shoot. So maybe they just had made the decision to cut it. And I also read somewhere online that they actually have a 4-hour cut of this film. And so maybe that is there, or if we ever get a Blu-ray, that might be some extra content footage that we'll be able to see. But I think skipping that scene just also shows how morally complex Strat's character is. Like, she had to make some really impossible choices, which brings me to the next part of this video, character changes. All right, so what did you all think of Strat's character? Like, initially, I wasn't a fan of the karaoke scene. It felt very random to me. I could have gone without it. I loved her singing though. I love the Harry Styles song. I think the scene and her performance, the actor did an excellent job. I think she adds a little more depth to the character as well, after I've been thinking about it for a while. But I did get some romantic tension there between her and Grace, and I don't know if that's something that I missed in the book. But I think later on in the film, it definitely makes that betrayal scene later in the film a little more complex. But I think the purpose of that scene was to humanize her a little bit, even though I think she already had enough care for humanity. Like, in the book, I think her character is a little more commanding, but that's also maybe how Ray Porter's delivery of her lines made me see her. Like, she has this calmness about her, but also this energy that she's just gonna make things happen whether you like it or not. And especially when she had the lines from the trial, the mention of going to jail, calling Grace a coward, all those scenes were not in the film. And I can see how those scenes make people see her as a colder character. And in the movie, those things just aren't explicitly stated. Like, her character is a little more vague. I think she's more of a background character here. But she does have that cool scene where she gave Grace clearance in front of everyone. I thought that was a pretty boss move. Like, at the end of the day, her mission was to save humanity. Like, she already had empathy for human life and looked at things from the greater good and the bigger perspective. As for Rocky and Grace, I love them. Ryan has that goofy charm. Rocky is one of the greatest characters ever. I think they're the perfect odd couple. I think the tone of their characters in the book was pretty on par with how they were on screen. Like, they had their one-liners. Everyone in the audience was laughing the entire time. I think Rocky, though, is like on a whole nother level of cuteness in the film. Like, I don't know if I ever read the book and thought of him as cute while I was reading it, but he's got like this BB-8 thing going on here, like R2-D2. It was kind of hilarious seeing him run around the ship, just messing around with everything. And obviously he's going to be curious and excited, like who wouldn't be in that situation? But I do think that kind of opened up the film to a wider audience. Like, kids and families who are not familiar with the book are just gonna love Rocky as a character. If they ever decide to sell plush dolls, they're just going to sell like crazy. I think he's, at the end of the day though, in the movie, he was still a genius engineer. Like, he built the tunnel, he started the communication by creating those models. But when you remove some of those science scenes and those conversations between him and Grace and add more comedic elements, it doesn't jump off screen that these are like super smart, curious problem solvers. Because in the book, these guys are basically geniuses. But Grace drinks vodka in the book. He also has that hilarious joke when he remembers he's a teacher. Rocky has lines like grumpy, angry, stupid, when last sleep, question. Like, the book was hilarious. Like, I was laughing loud several times while reading the book. And I never really expected this movie to be a serious science fiction one like Interstellar. It always gets all that comparisons when people talk about this. Like, I always got more Guardians of the Galaxy vibes. But I will say, like, cinematically and like visually, this book and the film was pretty on par with some of those films as well, like those big science epic films. So I love these shots of Adrian. They were just beautiful, vibrant green colors, and the wide shots just really reminded me of how vast our universe actually is. And that transition from the green to the red with like the bokeh and the red petroscope infrared, that was just beautiful. I love Greg Fraser's work, the one that he did on Batman. I thought Project Hail Mary had a lot of those dirty frames in the film as well. And it was just an awesome visual experience to watch on IMAX, and you add the sound. I think it made me appreciate it a lot more, and it just made it an incredible experience. And so I think if you have the opportunity, go watch it in IMAX to really appreciate the visuals. Yeah, so I don't know what else I can say about this film. I absolutely loved it. Both the movie and the film left me with the same impact. They give you that hope that's missing in this world sometimes. It's kind of a reminder that people can come together and make a difference. And both the film and the book both have that great escape for me. They kind of immersed me into the medium and kind of allowed me to forget about the outside world, forget about all my worries. And I think that's the power of books and movies. And so, yeah, they're both awesome in their own way. And I think it was a great adaptation as far far as book adaptations go, I don't think anyone can do any better. And so, yeah, if you've read the book or watched the movie, watch both of them. Let me know your thoughts down below. Thank you guys all for listening, and I will see you on the next one.